Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. We're going to finish up a third pair of ears for Valentine's Day. So we already did two using this pink fabric.
And then we're doing one more.
And we're gonna do one more, yeah. And we're gonna do one more.
Like glittery.
It's gonna have
pinky.
Yeah, so it's gonna have glittery ears and pink somewhere, and
No,
we have
bows.
a pink bow, you think? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see what we do.
I think pink bows.
And we have red. So far what I'm thinking, I did a little diagram here. I think that we're gonna do you tell me what you think. We're gonna do a pink headband, glitter front, pink back, maybe a red and pink bow. I don't know, we'll see. If you're interested, stick around. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna make our headband using this pink fabric.
Yes, for the bow.
No, this is gonna be the headband.
Oh.
Oh, the headband.
I know we that.
So I'm just going to roughly outline it.
With this
Look, this
board.
actually turned out perfect because it's the same length, or just the right length that I need. Okay, so we got that going. Can you put the cap on, please? Can you put this fabric away, please? Can you fold it?
Just fold it?
Yeah.
Hey, can I do one right there?
Yeah, go ahead. Go over there and fold it. I'm still cutting.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be perfect along your line. So here's your headband cover. Set this aside a minute. Now we're gonna cut our ears, and I already kind of marked it when I was playing with it, trying to see how this is gonna fit. And we're gonna have enough to make some earrings, and we're gonna do that in another video.
Here.
Can you put it away where the fabric is? Okay, so let's cut these out.
Ow.
Ow.
We are going to scissors because the scissors will hit you. Oh, my favorite. I love this.
You love the pearls?
Yeah. Wow. It's kind of like a race car. Whoa. Like a fast, big race car. Get it?
I guess.
Fast, big race car? Do you get that? Mommy, I will hold this, okay? It's kind of like a move it around.
So these ears are for Valentine's Day.
Yep, because mirror, I guess.
Valentine's Day.
Oh, no,
You like Valentine's Day?
yeah. And I love practice. I like to practice the
Which one?
one with the leprechaun and the leprechaun.
St. Patrick's.
I can't even say that. Practice.
St. Patrick's.
Practice.
St. Patrick's Day.
Practice.
So we're gonna save these little pieces. We're gonna use that for
I know.
earrings.
Hey, I'll still say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. So let's just put that right there for now. And can you get that fabric again? Because now I forgot.
The pink fabric?
We need to make the backs. Yeah, the pink fabric.
I'm coming up here. La 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 la. Why are you doing it with your pencil?
This is what I had there.
Well, what about
Should I get the marker? You want to get the marker for me?
Yeah. You know where is it, Mama?
I don't know.
You know where I had it? Oh, found it.
And I just kind of fit it in. Oh, you know what? The pencil is working.
Here.
Thank you for the pen.
Here.
Thank you.
I'm holding it. I mean, you want me to do it now or not?
No. Just put the top on.
Mommy, I just want it to be a little bit darker.
It's okay. We're gonna cut it.
Aww.
Here, when I'm done cutting this, and you can fold it, the fabric.
Mommy, I want to draw a little heart inside of the ears and make it like Valentine's.
Okay.
With the marker.
Okay.
Ears are gonna look so fantastic.
Oh yes, they are. Here, you can fold this,
Thank you.
and you can put that marker away for
Wait,
now.
I just want it for ears. I just need some more. I just want the markers for the hearts and the
Okay,
ears.
then leave the marker there on the table.
You can say that. I can. Just kidding.
And all these little bits, I don't throw them away just yet. I try to figure out what to do with them, and they're usually earrings.
The fabric and the fabric. Hey, I was gonna be there.
Okay, so there's your
I will hold the marker for the hearts.
4 pieces for the ears. And since we don't know what the bow is gonna look like yet, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this later. We're gonna make our ears, and this was a little scooter box that my daughter got for Christmas. So I just put a little bit of glue on the shiny side so that it doesn't slide, and then place it in the middle. Then I'll start gluing from the top and just start bringing everything in. nice and snug. And then there's gonna be a lot of little bumps here. We'll know at the end if we have to cut it off or smooth it out more. Perfect. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, so I'm working with this box that I cut out, and I'm not really liking this because as I'm pushing down, it's not sturdy. I'm already bending this in. So let's see how this comes out. I think it's gonna be just fine because once we attach both ears and everything is glued down, I don't think it's not gonna move. So let's see. This is the first time that I've dealt with something like this, but I think we're gonna be okay. Now we're gonna work with that faux. This is just a really thick fabric. It's not faux leather, it's just really thick. You can work with it, it's pliable. I'll link what it is in the bottom. So this one, we're gonna have to play with this, but you have to kind of fold it. So you see how this one, I just kind of smushed it around. I didn't have to mess with it so much. This, you have to fold. You have to make little creases as you go down to take the round shape. It's not that difficult to work with. All right, so let's see, let's show you on this side. So here, you see I just kind of push it up. And then as we move down, we just start creating little folds. Yeah, this box is really difficult to work with, but I think we're gonna be okay. Yeah, so that looks good. And as I'm doing this, I'm pressing down. Like I'm pressing down onto the counter so that it could be really taut. And then once you come up, you see how it's like nice and fluffy? So it creates a lot of fluff in there. So we have our ears done. I'm gonna glue them together later. And now let's put our headband together. So for here, we're gonna add some double-sided tape and then just roll it. So here's our double-sided tape. And then I'll just start from the bottom here and just bring it all the way around. And this helps the fabric not move around and easier for you to work with when you're gonna hot glue the bottom down. Okay, so there we have our tape. It's nice and flush. Now we start rolling. And I usually start maybe about, let's see, I do maybe like about an inch off the edge. And then I'll just try to kind of tug on it a little bit so it's tight as I go down. And make sure it comes out smooth. There you go, perfect. So we rolled it. I have about an inch on each side. And now we're gonna start gluing everything in. So I'll do one side completely, and then we'll do the other side off camera. So you have to go through this because this takes a long time. Because since we're working with little sections, it just takes a long time. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're adding glue close to the edge, and then just bringing the fabric over snug all the way to the end. And then we deal with those little flaps when we're done gluing everything down. And you see how you're gonna have headbands sticking out. This isn't covering everything. You're gonna have like that white headband showing through, and that's just fine because we're gonna line these headbands under. The other two that we did are already lined, but this one I'm gonna line differently. So I'm gonna do that on camera, and I'm gonna create my template for the lining. And we're gonna do the lining differently than what we've done before. Okay, so I did one side, I'm gonna do the other side off camera. And then we'll move on to the little loops. We finished gluing both sides of the headband. Now we're gonna work on the ends. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna taper in these ends by adding glue and just folding this in. Not too much, but just fold it in so you can have just like a little tail like this. I'm gonna add glue on this side. This is in my way. Normally I rubber band this down. Let's rubber band it. Yeah, that's good for now. Okay, so we tapered that down, and we're gonna add a little more glue. Bring it in, and then we're gonna bring it over. So I'll add glue to the little tail part. And it's okay that that it's all raw like this. And it looks kind of funny because again, we're gonna line this. We're gonna make our lining. Okay, so now a little glue here. I'm sorry I'm moving this around so much. It's just, you kind of have to figure out what's gonna work. Okay, so we have our headband done. It's nice and smooth. And now we're gonna move on to, we did this already, so now we're gonna move on to the ears. And we decided that we wanted to have the glittery part in the front, and putting this together, just eyeballing it, it looks good. I like it. And then afterwards we're gonna figure out the bow. So I think that the bow is gonna be, we said it was gonna be red and pink, and then we're probably gonna line it with something else. Probably gonna line it with this to bring in more red, and then we'll have red in the interior. So since we already know that this is gonna be the top part, we're gonna bring these flaps in. So they could be nice and flush in the front. So let's do that. This is easy. All you gotta do is add glue. That's it. And then just bring the flap in with both fingers, and then just make sure, that it's adhering. And then if you want, add a little more. You don't have to, because we're gonna add a ton of glue in a minute to put them together. So there's one. Okay, this one I need more glue here, because if not, then when I fold it in, it's gonna come out all funny. Okay, so let's fold this one in. Okay, so we got these two ears going. Now let's glue them down. And all we do here is just little bananas with the glue all the way around, just a ton of glue. Because you want these guys to stick, you don't want them to fall apart. And we make these first. Okay, so I kind of like align them. Make sure that they're nice and even. And then just press it down. Okay, so that's stuck. Now we have the seam that we're gonna deal with afterwards. So we got that seam going, and I'm really loving these ears. Now let's work on this side. Okay, so there's your sandwich. Then we have a little gap there, that's okay. And then now, let's see how we're gonna do this. I like this. So we're gonna stick these ears on. And then we're gonna do a bow just for fun, and then we'll see which one we want, if we want the red one or if we want the double one. So I'm going to, you know what, actually, I'm not gonna stick it on. Let's set this aside. We decided that we're gonna make a pink back and a red front. So let's cut the pink back. we have our fabric. We cut it out, and the measurements that we did here were 7.5 inches by 13 inches. And our batting, which is this, is 5.5 inches by 3.5 inches. We're gonna place this batting right in the center. That's the center. And then we just fold it in. That's the center. And then we'll deal with that later. But to watch this whole video on how to make a bow, I'm gonna link it up here somewhere, and you can watch that whole video from start to end. I'm not sure if we're gonna do that whole, like make this whole thing on screen, but we might. Let's see how this turns out. If not, then there's an entire video that you can refer to later just for the bow. And then I kind of like feel, so this is where the batting ends. We're gonna tuck this in. We're gonna taper it in a little bit so that when you fold it in, you don't have little peaks sticking out. This is fine. That's gonna be hidden. Just a little glue, just a dab. You don't need too much, it's just to kind of hold it down while you're doing this. You know, here that I'm folding this over to find where my center is, and I see that there's a little bit too much. This is my center, so I want it to be centered because I want the ribbon to cover the seam. So we're just gonna cut a little bit off. Okay, so now it's on the center. So here's your pillow, and we need to make the red center. So we're gonna get a smaller little pillow or a smaller batting and a piece of fabric here to make the little pillow for the center. And I brought back my pink fabric, my double-sided tape, and I'm just gonna lay my double-sided tape on the back of my fabric. Close to the edge. Actually, let's start here. Close to the edge, maybe leaving like, I don't know, maybe 2/4 of an inch on each end, because we're gonna start folding in to make our ribbon. So let's start folding over this side. And what I do is I start in the center and I'll start folding out. And I use this double-sided tape as my guide to how thick this ribbon is going to be. So just smooth it out. And you can make the center whatever width you want. This is just the size that works for me. I like this size. And it's easy because I already know that all I have to do is buy double-sided tape. I don't have to measure, I don't have to sew. I just eyeball it and it always comes out perfect. And it's stiff, so you have that support because you have that, you know, that tape lining. Okay, so now we have our ribbon, and this is okay that it's not all in there. We're gonna cut this off in a minute. All right, so then that's gonna be our center. So let's make our bow. So this is how we make our bows. I stacked the red one on top of the pink one. I'm gonna turn it around, and this is kind of thick because now I got 2 pillows in here. So let's see if it works out. If it doesn't work out, we're gonna have to do something a little different. Fold it once, fold it twice, fold it 3 times. I'm gonna hold it tight in the center. Nope. This is too much. No, we're gonna have to do this different. This didn't work out. The bow that we made before, which was these 2 pillows on top of each other, did not work. So I had to play with this off camera a little bit, and I think I figured out how we're gonna do this. So I wanna do it with you on camera. I already kind of played with one, so I just wanna show you. I just took a, my fizzy water came in here, and I just placed this little pillow on top of this and kind of measured it. So this came out just about like this size. Set that aside. I'm gonna cut this off, this flap off. I'm gonna cut this flap off. You know what, I'm probably gonna make it a little bit shorter. Just a little bit, so you can see more of the pink. Here. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is place this in the center. I have too much fabric here, but that's fine. And this time I'm gonna use double-sided tape because we don't need all that extra support. I'm gonna bring that over. You know what, actually, let's do this a little different. I'm gonna turn this around so that you don't see this limoncello or whatever sparkling water this is on the outside. Okay, so I added double-sided tape to the back of this just so that the fabric doesn't move so much. And now we're just adding double-sided tape here to hold this fabric down. And we're gonna taper it just like we did with the other one. And we're gonna double-sided tape this down too. Right here. This doesn't have to be so precise because it's gonna be hidden. Okay, so then now you have this like weird looking flat square that we're okay with because you're gonna see what's gonna happen here. So now we place this on top. Now we're gonna fold this just as we did, or just as we do with a regular bow. So I'm folding this over once. I'm folding this over twice. I'm folding this over 3 times. And yeah, this looks tough, but once you fan this out and add your ribbon, I think it's gonna look amazing. So I just want to make sure that everything's kind of like nice and folded. Okay, so this is our center. We're gonna add glue right here. Looks like I glued my finger. And hold it down for a little bit. And then we're gonna go around really tight. And we're gonna fan everything out. I'm just holding it down for a little bit so that it dries. And now let's tightly go around. Once we fan it out, I think we're gonna be okay. I think you're gonna love this. All right, so this is dry. And now we're gonna fan this out. Oh my God, this is beautiful. I am so happy with this. I'm really happy how this looks, but let's see how it looks on this pair of ears. What do you think? Do you like it? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna glue this down once we're done with our trim. So now we have to figure out what we want our trim to be. And I think that since we added red, our trim is gonna be red. So there can be more of a contrast. So let's work on the trim of our ears. We have everything kind of ready here. Let's see how this comes out. We know that, well, here we already already know that that's going to be the left of the front. There's nothing special about, you know, which one's going to be where. And this is just one of my daughter's necklaces. It's one of those like Mardi Gras necklaces. And I'm going to use this. I'm going to cut it out. She's not going to miss it because she's got like 18 of these. And we're going to start at the end like we always do. Just right here. Before I start this, okay, so we're gonna line this with these beads that I just cut up that belong to my daughter, but I want to actually cover this gap. So I'm gonna cover this gap with pipe cleaner. So I'm gonna cover it with red pipe cleaner so that those beads have something nice and cushiony to lay on. And you don't see that big gap? And you're always gonna have this big gap. It just happens. And then this just kind of makes it look a little bit more finished. And you could either cut this off or just tuck it in. Normally I just tuck it in. And I just take a pair of tweezers and just shove it in there, just so that I don't have like a bunch of little, so much trash, you know, at least like it's in here. There's a purpose for it. It's more for stability. So there you go, here you have your pipe cleaner. And I'm just gonna start working on this one, and then I'll probably do this one off camera. Or just go a little bit faster since you already saw how to do this. And let's start here. So I'm just gonna glue one of these beads down to begin with. And then I'll work on the other ones. And you don't have to glue every single bead. I'll go down like a couple of beads and then glue it down and hold it. And a couple of beads, glue it down and hold it. Okay, that's down. And then I'll just do this one. And I'll do it like this because you don't want to, since you have that piping there, you don't want to mess with it too much. Because then the glue is really going to mess it up. So you just go down a couple of beads, a little more glue. Okay, so now we're at the end, and I'm just gonna cut it right here. Perfect. This is the perfect length. So let's just glue right here, and there you go. There's your ear. And now we're gonna work on the next ones. We finished our ears. And now we're going to attach them to the headband, and then we're going to attach our bow. And it's looking beautiful. Now we're going to glue our ears on. So I'm going to measure 9 centimeters up. I start at the bottom and measure up 9 centimeters. And I just make a little mark right there. Actually, let's start on this end. So 9 centimeters. Sorry. 9 centimeters up, just make a little mark. There, we can sort of see it, it's there. And I want, both sides look really good, so it doesn't matter what side I want the front to be. So let's start gluing. Let's start with this ear. And I'm gonna place it about here. So what I'm gonna do first is go crazy with my glue. And I'm just gonna glue, just glue everywhere. All over. Because you really want this to stick. And then I'll start the, see where the little mark is? It's like right where the end of my, where the front of the ear is. So then now I just press it down. And I'll keep it pressed down here for a little bit, and then I'll have to add some more glue to the front. So then the purpose of that little flap is because we're going to flap it over for extra stability. And we'll do that now since it's still kind of wet. Alright, so we're gonna have to add more glue to the front here. So all that glue kind of like glues the back, and then I go in and add glue here close to the end because I don't want that much. I don't want to have hot glue just hanging out the front, and I don't want to have to line the front. I kind of like how these ears look without lining going down the front to cover it. Let's go on the next ear. Glue, 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 glue everywhere. And we're just holding it down. And these ears, I'm making them a little different. Usually I leave this little flap that we leave at the end and on the back of the ears for last. But I'm just doing this all at the same time. So this is just the method that happened with these ears. Let's see how the other ones come out. Add glue to the front. Okay, we got them on there. And now let's add our bow. This bow is so thick. Now we have to play with it a little bit. I added more of the ribbon. I kind of went around, like coiled it. I had to do that because this is so thick that I needed to leave some space here to add it to the headband. So I'm gonna add it close to the edge. Now let's add our bow. We're gonna add it right here. So here's our bow. And then just hold it down for a little bit. And we can use these little bits for the earrings, or we'll figure something else with that. So yeah, so these came out different. Again, you tell me what you think. I'll have to like perfect this. What do you think? It's looking cute so far. And now I told you that we're gonna work on the lining. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna prepare my template now, and then we'll line the inside of this in red. This is how we make our templates. We use, this is grocery paper bag. And what I'm doing here for the lining is I'm just tracing one of these headbands about halfway. And then we're gonna start, and then I'll fold it and start cutting so that everything is even. I'm using this template because this is where I was using this as a guide for my ears before, and I still use it, but I could just completely take off a piece of this. Okay, so let's set this aside. So we're folding it in half, and then now we're just gonna start cutting, and we're gonna have to cut a little more. But this is gonna be, it should be, since we did this with a pencil, this is going to be a little bit larger than the actual headband. Yeah, you see, so this is actually the length. The length is good, but now I have to cut more so that it's not sticking out the edges. So let's do that. And I'm just going to eyeball it. We're not going to on each side. And this would actually be more ideal with an X-Acto knife, but I already started this like this. Okay, I messed with this a lot, and I got this template for the lining, and I think I'm happy with it. I'm probably gonna have to change it up again, but this is what we're gonna work with now to cover this. So we're gonna cover our headband a little bit differently. We're gonna cover it with felt. So I have this piece of felt, and again, this, you know what, these ears, we're playing with these, and I want to know, I just want to see how this looks. And I just don't like, now I don't like that this doesn't fit. So I'm just going to use this size and see if it's working. If it works for me, perfect. If not, then we're gonna have to see what else we do. So I cut it out. I made my template for my future ears. And now we're gonna start lining. So I added, to my felt, I added double-sided tape to hold it down in place while I glue. And let's just make sure that this is where I want it. Yeah, it is. Let's start gluing. So we're gonna start gluing from the center out, or at least close to the center. Wow, these are beautiful. Here you go. Here are our ears. And I like this lighting. Check that out. So these are probably gonna be available for sale on eBay. Let's see. Here's the back. And let me know which ones you like. Let me know if you like this one with the two-tone. This one, these are beautiful. I really love these. Or let me know if you like this kind. Thank you so much for watching. Here are your ears. These ears are mostly store-bought, except for the fabric that we use here for the bow and the little carton inside that holds everything together. And you know, I mean, I bought this at the store, but this was my daughter's. So there you go. If you like these, let me know. Let me know which ones you like. Give me a thumbs up. Turn on the notification button and leave a comment if you like on the bottom, and I'll respond to you. So thank you for watching. See you soon.